collections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, welcoming you back to another good old-fashioned kitchen counter thrift haul. And almost everything that you see here is currently listed in the Old Curiosity Shop. The link to my eBay store is below. I'm only keeping a few things, but most of all of it is ready and for sale right now. So, if you see anything you're interested in, go get it. And if not, hey, I hope you'll stick around and take a look at some great items, all American made, I think. No, that's not true. We have a couple made in Japan pieces here, so let me just jump right in and start talking about it all. You know that this is a cheese and cracker, part of a cheese and cracker set. The underplate is gone. These were very popular in the Depression, and almost every company made them. There would be a big underplate that this would fit on top of. Your cheese would go here and all your crackers on the underplate. So what can you do with these now? Well, there's a lot you could do with them. How about collecting odds and ends of these little cheese compote stands, if you will, and serving individual cupcakes on them? How about that? This is Pink Depression and it's gilded. It's from the 30s. Sticking with the Depression glass, here are some pieces of Monax by Macbeth-Evans, and let's see, they had a name for it called, it's escaping me now, but I did put it in my auction description. It's something like ivorine, I think it is. Anyway, this is not white, it's an ivory color, and it is made out of glass. Macbeth-Evans figured out how a way to make this stuff to sort of imitate expensive bone china, but it's glass and it's petalware. The real popular stuff has got pastel colored bands on it. Macbeth-Evans became a division of Corning Glass, but they started off, of course, as their own company. And you can see these have a beautiful ivory color, and there's a translucence to them. Really pretty stuff. See how pretty that is? And these actually have a gilded decoration around the perimeter, and they're all in really good shape. No chips or cracks, and these weren't heavily used. So I'm gonna sell all of this together. Here's a nice big, what they would call a chopped plate, oversized plate, and then smaller, what would have been I believe these are 8-inch plates right here. So there's 4 plates and then 1 big plate, and that dates to the 1930s. I think Corning continued to make it even after they bought Macbeth-Evans, and it was just a division of Corning. And then, so you've seen pieces of Cremex before, which is similar to this, but not translucent. Okay. Piano babies. I haven't seen any piano babies in a while. Let's get down here and talk about piano babies. Around the turn of the century, the late 1880s, 90s into 1910, 1912, the great big old upright piano, that was the pride and joy of the front parlor. And people would protect the tops of their pianos with elegantly woven tapestries called piano shawls, and sitting on top of the pianos to, you know, hold the shawls in place, kind of weight them down. would be these piano babies. They did sit on pianos and they were very popular at that time. These are not the piano babies from the 1890s to 1910. They became a thing again, if you will, in the 1950s, and a lot of them were made in Japan and then imported to the United States. The early ones are usually German porcelain. These are, as I said, Japanese, but very good quality, I think. I'm selling the two together even though they're not a pair, because obviously one of them has gotten into the miracle grow. The other one is a little bit on the small side, but I think they look cute together. There are no chips or cracks on either one. This one is definitely bisque. This one has a very light, almost an eggshell finish to it, rather than just being totally a bisque piece. But here's the larger one, and if we turn this fella upside down, we can see that he's marked. You can't see his foil sticker very well, but he is a company that I've got the description in my in the listing, and it's Andrea by Sadak. It's as I said, it's escaping me right now, and I can't really read that foil sticker at the moment. But that was an import company that started in the 1930s. I think it's still in business and still owned by the same family. Okay, so he's a good-sized piano baby. And then this other one is probably Japan. The label is gone, and that's a really cute one as well. So the two piano babies are being sold together, and these are cute. The Federal company back here, you have seen me once in a while. I have the creamer, and once in a while I have the sugar, and now I happen to have both of them together. This is the colonial fluted, colonial rope pattern. I think there's an F for Federal on the bottom, makes it easy. You see it right there in that shield. And this is a pattern, obviously depression glass from the 1930s. So there's the cream and sugar. You've already seen me talk and heard me talk about the modern tone tumblers back here in Platinite by Hazel Atlas, so we won't talk too much about those, but there's a set of 4 of those. So we're really talking about a lot of depression glass here. We talked about the cheese and cracker. Now what about this piece over here? What is so special about this? Why am I so excited about it? You say, well, you know, it's just a tumbler, not a tumbler, it's just a sherbet cup, big deal. Sort of a colonial pattern with fluted sides, you know, amberina. Well, it is, but it's also a little bit more than that. It's a piece of stretch glass. Now let's look very closely at what makes it stretch. There you go. Do you see that? You see that sort of onion skin effect? It's iridescent, but it's also been sprayed with salts, mineral salts. So this comes out of the fire, and they spray it and they fire it again, and then it crackles. You see, and it gets this what's called stretch. Now the stretch marks can be very pronounced on some pieces. This one, it's very delicate. Try to zoom in on it for you. There you can see a little bit better. Can you not? What we call, what collectors refer to, oops, where are we? There we go. You can really see this sort of onion skin finish to it, and that's what, well, now we're out of focus. This piece here, there were, 5 or 8 companies in the United States that made most of the stretch glass. This was made by one of them. We call this amberina because it fades from red down to a yellow color. This has a current bid of $19, and it should sell for between $19 to $35. Just that one piece. It's not easy to find. And stretch glass was popular around the same time as carnival glass. So we're talking about 1905 to about 1925. And this could have been made by Northwood, Imperial, Fenton, Diamond, or Dugan Diamond, the U.S. Glass Company, and there were others that made stretch glass around that time. I was really excited to find that in a local thrift shop for, next to nothing. By the way, back in my video library, I must have been about a year and a half ago, a video on how to tell the difference between stretch glass, carnival glass, art glass. It's buried down there somewhere if you'd like to take a look at it. I'm not going to do much more talking about stretch glass. Now the pieces that I am going to keep, I think you know that I like fall colors and fall themed items. I don't need to start collecting another China pattern, but I was really attracted to this English piece right here. I really like the sort of vellum color glaze. It might look white in these bright lights, but it's actually a beautiful ivory, sort of creamy ivory color. And there are some really nice black and orange details on here around the edges, some embossed work as well. Little vegetable bowl, and I just love how it's up on this little foot, this little base on the bottom. So I can see that in the center of the dining room table next fall, filled with mini pumpkins or something like that. It's an English piece of china. I'll let you see it. Yes, I like that very much, and so that's the reason why I bought it. I'm going to keep that. I also found in amber glass these two pieces right here. I think most people call these Irish coffees. Call it whatever you want. I like them, and I like amber glass from the Depression era. These happen to be made by the Cambridge Glass Company. I had never seen this particular shape before. I think they're beautiful. I think amber glass from that period of time is really pretty, and so I was excited to find these two coffee mugs or Irish coffee mugs. Just don't pour boiling water in these. I'm telling you, this is not Fire King. This stuff will crack and break. It can accept hot water, but you don't want to put anything in here that's boiling, such as if you're making instant coffee or something. Okay, making an honorable mention here, the other things I'm keeping are these wonderful deco candlesticks, which you saw me showing off the other day. And here I've got them all cleaned and polished, all put back together again from the 1930s. And I think we mentioned that these are made by Farber Brothers, which we can see right there. Brooklyn. I still haven't gotten the residue off, however, of the Goodwill labels. Those are fantastic. How elegant they would be in circa 1935-36. I love those, and I'm keeping those. This you also saw before, and it's finally up for sale. It's just marked M on the bottom, and the research that I could do, I'm not really sure who made it. There was a company in Maryland that made these, that marked their things with, embossed their things with a capital M like that. It's not a W, it's definitely an M. It's not a W for Westmoreland. Someone had thought that maybe it was, but you can see it's clearly an M. I love the buffaloes, the green paint. And whether you want to call it a part to a lady's vanity set, dresser set, or whether you think it's a barber, I was leaning towards more of a barber's bottle rather than to a woman's vanity set. Although it could be, a subscriber David he and I were chatting about it, and he thinks it went to a woman's vanity set with a hair receiver and all the other things. So hey David, you could be right. It very well could. It did have a fancy stopper on it that's gone, but it's kind of large, and with the buffaloes on it, I don't know. But anyway, something that was either used for just, general toilet use, toiletry use, or perhaps in a barber shop. Doesn't matter to me. Listen, it's really cool, and that's the reason why I bought it, and I love all that paint. But so that's for sale in the shop as well. And I think it's unique with the buffalo heads on there. You saw that a while ago. I finally just got that listed, and this I talked about these being reproduced. This is an old one, and that'll date to the Depression era. You could keep your sugar or your flour in there. It has a nice metal lid which does screw on and off tightly as it should. This one is not reproduced by Martha Stewart Enterprises. And when we turn it upside down, I think I showed you this before. Look at all that wonderful old wear on the bottom. You see that? Exactly where you would expect to see it after being dragged across somebody's Hoosier cabinet counter for years and years and years. This doesn't have any uranium in it. It does not glow under a black light, even though it looks like it might. Maybe there's just the tiniest little bit of uranium in it. I put a black light on it and didn't do anything. So, but I think it's still a small Depression era swung vase. That's stretch glass, and it hasn't been stretched. That's a piece of swung glass, and it was swung but not stretched. You see these all the time listed as stretch glass, but they really are swung, and somewhere I'll dig out a video and show you how, at least the Fenton company, they would swing these vases to get them to stretch like that. Don't know who made that one, but it's cute. And then over here by Blendo are these, I don't know, certainly I'm going to get this wrong, so I even hesitate to say what it would be used for. Champagne flute, I don't know. I really don't do all that kind of drinking, and so is it a champagne flute? Or just a small wine glass? Listen, I think it would be great at Easter time. What's that stuff they serve at Easter? Breakfast, or at any mimosa, is that what it is? And Blendo, really pretty, right? The frosted glass, made in West Virginia, I think, if I remember. Gilded tops, and a somewhat unusual shape. I see lots and lots and lots and lots of Blendo, but I rarely see this particular shape of glass. So if it's not a champagne flute, you can tell me what it is. Those have a bid as well currently. These are fun. I think we all grew up eating cookies that look just like this, and it was fun to find them still on their original cardboard holder. Holiday cookie cutters, Colorcraft, look at that. Sold at poor old Sears for 93 cents. In copper. So there's the turkey, the witch, the snowman, the angel, and the reindeer. And there's no barcode anywhere on this. So where does that put that? What date does that put that in? I'm not really sure. We didn't say today's cup of coffee was brought to you by anybody, but if it had to be brought to you by somebody, it would not be brought to you by that. Now, I'm probably going to make some people mad. I think this is the ugliest coffee cup design ever created. I hope I just didn't make all the people mad who collect Kimberly. But does anybody agree? These are just ugly. To each his own. But hey, there it is. This is Fire King Kimberly mug. We can see you guys are familiar with that. And they came in all of the really tacky 60s, 70s colors. This one's in really good condition. But I wouldn't mind drinking my coffee out of one of these back here, because these are a little more classic looking to me. This is Pyrex Tableware by Corning. And these would be mid-century. These are in really good condition. This is Westmoreland glass. We'll turn it over and let you see the W and the G, which, alright, let me get it to where you can actually see it. Embossed, and hold on folks, It takes a minute to get it in. There it is. You see the W and the G, that stands for Westmoreland glass. I forget what year they started marking their glass, but sometime I think after the maybe in the 60s. So I don't know what they marketed this as. If I don't sell it, I'm going to be using it for cat treats. No, I'm kidding. But it certainly could be used for anything you want. Put your loose change in there, your false eyelashes, cat treats, soap, and it stands on a little base there, and it's just a nice, beautiful pair of milk glass hands with grapes back here. Okay, that's kind of nice. Now this over here, I can't really read. I've tried. It appears to be copyright 1973. And I'll let you see right there. Do you see? Do you see where it says 73? There we go. Okay, 73, and then it's got some others. I can't read that. Wind. I don't know what it says. I can't make it out at all. So I'm struggling as to whether this was actually produced or whether it's somebody's homemade ceramic. I think it was not a homemade ceramic, but actually made by somebody. Anyway, springtime and Easter is coming up. A cute little duck, pottery. And he's in really good condition too. There aren't any issues with him. You recognize the standard Pyrex that we see back there. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's a green nesting and a red. The two middle, we're missing the smallest and the largest, the blue and the yellow, but those are two good examples, respectable examples of the primary Pyrex nesting bowls. Came out in 1945 and popular for quite some time. There's the good old butter print in Cinderella. And then that one, from what I see, was made in 1967, which means it's as old as I am. And it's in just about mint condition. I won't turn it upside down, but it's sort of a, oh, what color is that? A creamy color with a sort of copper-colored eagle on it. And so that mixing bowl is also currently up for sale in the old Curiosity Shop. So let's back up. Went through it pretty quickly, but I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think I covered everything. So, what was your favorite? You know, I am loving my Art Modern candlesticks back here. That has to be my favorite. I think the piano babies are cute, and I really like the stretch glass. Okay, everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.